Oh, it's the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I got a bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh, bucket, what if we went to the broom closet together?
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy, it's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
My lifelong friend.
Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel
Wait, that's
the
not
same
pronounced
sort of
banal?
kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
This journal entry here says that the broom closet is a big baby bitch. And,
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet.
Get
with all
out of
your
here,
meandering
broom
philosophical
closet.
diatribes
Get out
about
of
the nature
here.
of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order
this
of things.
bucket is mine. This bucket belonged to me. Get
All right,
wrecked.
I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if
How'd you
you're
put it
ever
on
unsure
underneath
whether
the
the
other
thing
one?
you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Beautiful. Thank you, narrator. I think we've all learned a lesson here today. That the broom closet will
You know
not
what?
be taking
I could
my
take the
bucket.
name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Let's go to the executive bathroom again. I still...
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Yes,
you can't
thank
buy
you.
that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every
I like how
moment
sad he
you come
looks. He's
across
so
one of these
sad.
beautiful figurines. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes, the bucket is my friend. Another one!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanley under your belt.
Hell yeah. I've got so many Stanleys. I've almost collected them all, apparently. There's only 6, and I gotten 3. It's beautiful. I don't think I've ever played another
The elevator
incredible
raced
video
downward,
game in my entire
plummeting
life.
towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Thank you, Bucket. You're my only
Stanley
friend.
and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
I think I'm gonna go and take over the mind control facility
The lights
with the
rose
bucket.
on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
The bucket could be just what I need to successfully take over the thing.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
I wonder where the achievement thing is.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept his own life in someone else's control.
Scream
Never!
into the bucket.
He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Sorry, Bucket. I apologize. I'm gonna have to. I'm going to become very.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power,
Duh.
Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
Wait.
How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
What kind of bird? Oh, big bird. Big bird. Yeah, big birds. Big
Stanley
birds.
flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
It became an entirely
Stanley and
new
the bucket
ending
never
because
found
this
freedom,
bucket
because
is
they spent
here.
the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all
Where's
the
Reika?
possible
Where is she?
paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Duck.
And Stanley
Bird.
was happy.
Bird. We did it. We did it, Bucket. The ending was completely different because I had the bucket in my hands. Wait. Figurine finding committee meeting today. In the meeting room, there's a figurine. Take the bucket. How can we find them? Bottom text. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut the freak up. Follow clues provided by employee 416. There will be a reward for finding them all. Mission status. Oh, what? Some were both red and blue. Something to do with stairs. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. I gotta take a screenshot of that. Just in case this... I'm just gonna check the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Okay, so I got 2 left. I guess I'm
Stanley
looking
just
for
couldn't do
these.
it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these.
Yeah.
He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly
no,
wrong.
it's his property.
Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
No, but is his
Now
property
he felt himself
Stanley?
floating off the ground. Oh, gracious. He exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
No, Bucket! I'm coming for you, buddy!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
There's buckets everywhere!
Stanley, find me! He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
The real bucket was inside of me all along.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work. for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped all the way to work. All right, let me check my screenshots. There's a lot of boxes. Some are both red and blue. I think I know where that is.
Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
How do
There's
I get over
something
there?
up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have
How do I
alarmed
get over
him,
there?
of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Oh, I wonder where that is. How do I get over there? It's like a vent. So, okay, so I know where that one is now. I just don't know how to get there.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless...
But...
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Is this a
Now
bucket?
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Okay.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
That's a bucket.
Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Can I take... I can't take a closer look at it, but I'm pretty sure that's a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
That still makes it a bucket!
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
That is a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor
Okay,
and not
good.
a bucket.
For a
To be honest,
second
I
there.
just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too
I
much.
was
for you.
about to
Thank
be
you for
like,
not
I
making me look like
swear
an
to
idiot.
God, if it claims that this is a bucket, I'm going to go nuts.
Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? How is it both a bucket and not a bucket?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Is it me? Am I the
Stanley,
bucket?
I can't keep doing this.
Bucket?
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No!
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone?
Everything was a bucket.
Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
Yes.
And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
So I've got to ignore the bucket if I want to go into the red-blue room.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Who?
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
Okay, what's down here?
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your
What?
fault.
All I did was come in a room. Jesus. Okay, let's head back to try to get to the red-blue room because I think that's what the red-blue room is. Is that way?
Let me prove that I'm on your... And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment.
I did it.
This is doing something just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Where so many people
It's a
expect to be
mystery.
rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Oh, that's...
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh, okay.
I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. I was so confused. Oh, wow.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain?
Yeah.
We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
What? I have 7 now.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
I'm collecting them again. Let the number go up more.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Yeah, like, wait, why is this a puzzle?
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Oh, this is weird.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
What's that back there? Huh? What is it? Whoa! It's mini Stan number 5! How'd that get there? Hey. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Best boy, the narrator. Copyright the narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
That's a weird noise. Okay, and the last one was here, yeah.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Wait, was there one missing?
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future.
What was the pink room
Goodbye,
one?
Memory zone.
What was the pink one?
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought I wasn't.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
Okay, then there's this weird pink room, but I don't remember what this was.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
I got so many. I got so many of the 6 collectibles.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Which is funny because this segment is the reward for finding all of them. And oh, it was the under the stairs one that was missing. Interesting that there wasn't anything over there.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Yeah. the collectathon. What's going on? Oh, it's a jumpy.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy
Oh
filter
gosh, I
on
got
everything.
something in my eye. I
I
don't want to get out.
I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
So ridiculous. Are we gonna ride the elevator backwards now?
Oh, yes. The 2 doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Yeah. Oh, this is getting spooky. Oh, and then it's just my room.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
I don't think so.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely?
Wow.
Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Is it time for Stanley to die? Is it time for him to die? Here's my bucket, baby.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No, I'm going down here. Because I can't remember what's down here. So if we're gonna do one more run, Stanley.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Huh?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
Oh.
The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
What?
Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Yes. But I'm taking the bucket with me because the bucket is...
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
There we go. Let's go, baby. Ba, 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 ba.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about.
You ruined it.
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
But I got the bucket. Oh no.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
What?
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley.
What?
Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
What? What?
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay,
no.
The Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Is the bucket safe?
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Bucket Destroyer was destroyed. I'm gonna destroy the bucket
Stanley
now.
had felt
What?
traits.
No!
What
Oh
other
no!
object in this game
The bucket
can
doesn't
you
want me
even
to give
say
it
that
to it.
about?
I'm
We
trying
can't
to.
get back to the classic Stanley
No!
bearable characters
It
like
won't
the
do
Adventure Line or
anything.
the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley.
trying.
Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I didn't even have a choice to begin with.